Well, good evening, everyone. I'm David Silvani, your host, and this is Take Two Radio Soaps in Review. And with me today, I have CAROLYN, I have Casey, and I'd like to announce our new player to Soaps in Review, Miss Belinda Gates Turner.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Belinda, why don't you give everyone out there who doesn't already know a little about yourself and how you come to meet with us?
Okay. I'm a freelance writer. I have been for a decade, and one of the things I do is soaps and television. Movies and TV are my jam. That's what I do. Currently, I write for The Inquisitor. You can find me there. My username there is Belinda GT. That's Belinda with a Y, BELYNDA. And I've written for other sites. I adore soaps. That's what I would do all day if I had a choice, and I do, and that is what I do actually.
And you came with us on a special recommendation.
Yes.
From Michael of Soap Opera News, who recommended you for our Wednesday show.
Yeah, I had so much fun last night. That was great.
Yes, she is. And from there, Pam offered you to join us today.
Yes, I was so excited, and I'm excited to be here and just love talking soaps, so I can't wait.
Okay, and to get everyone started, usually we meet the second and fourth Thursdays of each month, although I'm going to send a request because there's a little note. Casey, you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Next, on July now, I won't be able to do the Thursday show, so I offered to do it on Tuesdays Tuesday, July 11th, is everyone available?
Fine with me.
It sounds great.
Okay. CAROLYN?
Sounds good. Got it on my calendar. All set.
Okay. All right, thanks. All right. Bold and the Beautiful. Okay, one word. Hang in there, CAROLYN. We'll get to you.
Okay.
One word. Sheila. Take it. Casey.
Oh, gosh. First of all, I have been praising Brad Bell for 2 weeks now. I mean, this man pulled off the biggest soap surprise in nearly a decade. I mean, holy smoke. When I saw her, I paused it for a second because I was like, is that really Sheila Carter? Like, is this Kimberlyn Brown in the flesh? And I was just so excited. I'm smiling ear to ear about it still, and I'm rushing home to watch Bold every day.
Every day.
Yeah, it's my favorite soap right now. I can't get enough of it. And Sheila Carter is my favorite villain in daytime of all time, and so happy she's back.
She likes to stir the pot.
I mean, I just wish somebody like Eric or the police, and I tweeted this out the other day, I was like, shouldn't Eric or the police in L.A. have contacted Lauren by now and said, hey, the woman who stole your baby and tried to kill you on the yacht is alive.
True. Belinda, why don't you take that one because you have a little insight. Well, we all have a little insight, so why don't you just give us what the insider told us?
Oh, which point are we talking about? I know we're talking about Sheila, but which inside scoop?
Why didn't anyone phone Lauren?
Yeah, this is, Bradley Bell did an interview, and he kind of made it clear that from my interpretation of what he said, is that Sheila belongs to the Bold and the Beautiful. He's got her on the year contract. He spelled out that he has a nice long arc for her, and it was kind of funny. He called out Young and the Restless. He didn't like what they did with Sheila over there. He didn't like she had Michelle Stafford's face. And to me, it was pretty clear that she's not going there. So if she's not going there, Eric need not make that call, to warn Lauren, because Sheila's not going anywhere. Now, at the end of a year, when Sheila goes full-blown villain, as we all know she will, and heads out of town, maybe he should pick up the phone and say, hey, Scott needs a bodyguard.
Well, then, I thought they were going to mention it because, and I'm sure we'll tackle this when we get to Y&R, but Lauren said she's not comfortable with Scott dating Sharon because Sharon stole a baby like Sheila did. So I just, even though Brad Bell is not going to really acknowledge the Genoa City world, I feel like there should be something just to move the story along a little bit quicker and, maybe give us some much-needed excitement on Y&R.
I agree. My jaw kind of dropped when Lauren name-dropped her. Well, she didn't name-drop her. Michael did it for her, but and I thought maybe that's CBS Daytime acknowledging it, even though, she's not. I don't think she's going to be going over there unless that's all part of the big surprise, and they're going to share the wealth. But I hope they don't, honestly. I want Sheila to stay in L.A.
Yeah, and I feel like, she's kind of been put to bed on The Young and the Restless. I feel like, I totally agree with you, Belinda. I think it's time to move on from the Lauren Sheila years over at Y&R and just keep her at Bold.
I agree. I mean, didn't she die twice now in Genoa City? I think she burned to a crisp, and then she was shot with someone else's face. Isn't that how she died the last time? But I also like the fact that Brad was like, what happens in Genoa City stays in Genoa City, and she didn't have her own face when she supposedly died over there. So I think that gives them some creative leeway.
Yeah, and I love Sheila said, because somebody kind of brought it up without name dropping, but Sheila said, oh, that was a case of mistaken identity. I laughed so hard.
Yeah, in like 4 words, Brad Bell dismissed the Y&R plot out of hand. I loved it.
Yes.
Okay. I think we got a story going on with Sheila, so why don't we go on expectations for Sally and Thomas?
I mean, Sally and Thomas, they're just, the story's been done before. I mean, this was the same story that they did with Thorne and Macy, like a decade ago. So, we have the hotshot Forrester Creations designer come to Spectra, try to make it legitimate. It lasts like a year and a half, and then it falls apart. And, I mean, it's just, they're kind of your average soap couple. And, I mean, I'm kind of not feeling it just because we've been down this road so many times before. But, I mean, I'll see where it leads. It's just not the hottest thing attracting me to Bold and Beautiful.
I agree that it's not the hottest thing, but at the same time, any time that Pearson Faudet has his shirt off is a good time for me watching the soap.
Oh, amen to that.
Although he has a
See, Carolyn, there's a reason to watch Bold and the Beautiful right there.
He's beautiful. He's a big, beautiful farm boy, but they have him spray tanned dark. I tweeted today that I thought he might have been using Kim Kardashian's spray tan person because I thought he was weirdly dark. I like them together, and what I really like is that she hasn't, shagged his father.
Yeah.
Bold has a big problem with not incest, but incest adjacent, and so that's nice. It's nice when you're dating someone that your parent hasn't slept with.
I think that's because it's 30 minutes, and Bold's not, Bold likes longevity in their characters like most of the CBS soaps always have. But it's a little bit, you need to bring on some new people, okay? Brooke's been married to every Forrester man.
Exactly. And it's funny because I did write, I wrote something about Katie and Wyatt because I think that's coming. And it was funny the number of people that commented back. They were like, "Ew, no, she used to be his stepmother." And my answer to them was, "Have you ever watched Bold and the Beautiful?" Hello? It's like, really? They are farther apart than anybody else that's dating, So.
But in real life, Darren and Heather aren't that much far apart in age.
And that's what I kept telling people. They are 8 years apart. And they're like, she's old enough to be his mother. And I'm like, no.
But,
she is so much closer in age than her and Eric, which people seem to want.
Why do we need to get, why do we need to clutch our pearls at stories in daytime? Honestly, I take daytime soaps with open arms. Now, I'm not saying, let a sister hunt her brother, but I'm saying, there's some leeway. And Bill and Katie aren't married anymore. We've had stepmothers date, their former stepsons, and it's okay with me. I'm fine with this.
I agree, and my advocacy for them as a couple is that we haven't seen them together before, and everybody's like, oh, put it back with Ivy, and it's like, no, I'm tired of that.
Yeah.
I would like to see people who haven't been together before. And like you said, with a smaller cast, like GH has a cast of thousands. Bold doesn't, which is nice. But I like it. I think Katie and Wyatt will be great. He's going dark, and she's finally going to get out of Quinn's way so Sheila can torment Quinn, and I like it.
Well, and we've got to get Wyatt a story because I said 2 weeks ago, either get this Darren Brooks a story because I love Darren, or just write him out.
Yeah, because he can't sit around and perv on his brother's wife anymore. They need to leave Steffi and Liam alone for a while and let them be married, let Brooke and Bill be married, and move on to other people. That's my 2 cents.
It is. And speaking of other people, my heart is going out for Nicole right now.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
I may be on the other end of this, but I am so with her father. He might be doing it the wrong way, but I think he loves her and he aches for her, and you have to let Nicole feel.
And I do agree that there's an issue, and I don't know what they're going to do with it, but his attitude towards Maya today really, he's right up against transphobia, bad, and
yeah, he is.
And that is a real attitude that some people have, but he makes me cringe. He makes me cringe the way he talks to Maya.
Yeah,
basically, he's saying you don't deserve a kid.
Well, and the way he talks,
he did tell her that,
Nicole, too.
Yeah.
It's just, my mom no longer watches Bold, but once in a while she'll catch a glimpse of it. And Nicole and Julius were having one of those conversations where Julius was like, okay, let's map out your next move, and, you deserve this child. And my mom was like, well, that's an awfully weird conversation for a dad to be having with his daughter. And I said, I know. It's just... Julius belongs nowhere in this. It's like, okay, let Nicole and Maya hash this out. And I would even say do away with Rick and Zende in this situation for a while. I believe this is sister-to-sister stuff.
Do you know what I did like? Yeah. Yeah, you know what I actually did like today in that little plot is how Zende was going along and he's like defending Maya and he's telling Julius to back off, but then his real motive came out. He doesn't want Rick's kid.
Yeah.
He was just trying to be like he's, trying to be ethical, but he just doesn't want Lizzie. He doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm not a big fan of how they write Zende. I'm not really. I mean, this whole baby thing and how he's very anti-baby, but he wants a baby of his own with Nicole. It's just he's so disrespectful to Nicole and the way you talk about your skin cringing with Julius. Mine does with Zende.
Yeah. I don't enjoy Zende. I liked him better with Sasha giving Nicole angst, and then they just hustled and they just married them off, and now they're having a kid 5 minutes later, and they're both 19 on the show. I mean, I know that. Yeah,
I know.
It's just so
things happen fast these days, don't they?
Yeah, it was very strange because she was still mad, and I just felt like it was forced, and then the baby thing is force, and Julius makes my skin crawl, but at the same time, I think he represents a voice that we all see is very much alive and well in America. So in that aspect, it's interesting, but he still makes my skin crawl. He's a great actor. Ova is a great actor, and I know that because he makes my skin crawl.
Well, and I appreciate Brad for finally exploring what millions of Bold fans have wanted him to explore, and that is today's political climate, and Julius is the person to help us explore that because, some people want it cut and dry in daytime, and I do not. I want that gritty drama. I want all sides to be explored. And, we're rooting for Maya right now, but I think we're also rooting for Julius because we want him to get better and understand that trans people in this country deserve the same rights as everybody else. And so I think it's great that Brad is saying, okay, let's explore today's political climate.
I agree because, the Maya trans story was so big, and then it kind of got just normalized and nothing happened, even with the baby and all. And then this is, I think, provoking conversation because it is interesting because, Nicole, it's heartbreaking. Infertility is heartbreaking. She really wants a kid, and that was horrible news. Even though a lot of people said they could see it coming a mile away, I still like it.
Yeah.
I like it's sister versus sister, but with such an interesting and very modern twist. I want to keep watching it, but at the same time, every time they have a scene, I'm like, can y'all finish your conversation quickly and get back to Sheila? Because I just want Sheila.
Yes, I know. Me too. Give me the summer of Sheila, Brad. Come on.
That's what we're watching for.
Yep, that's what they're watching. There's a promo out now, I guess. I think he's got a promo out for that now called The Summer of Sheila.
Speaking of that promo, I think it's so funny because that promo, he used a flashback in there, and that flashback was of Lauren and Sheila fighting, when Lauren crossed over to L.A., but he's ignoring the Genoa City world of it. So I think that was just so funny.
It might be.
And there was the new footage of Sheila and Brooke facing off that I saw today.
Which I can't wait for.
Oh.
That's exciting.
Brooke's going to speak a little for Stephanie as well and what Sheila put her through. So,
yeah, I think so. I think so too. Okay, next step, Days of Our Lives. CAROLYN?
Hi.
How about some,
Hi, Belinda.
How about some Halo,
Hi, Belinda.
CAROLYN?
Hi.
Oh. Who saw the Damos putting it in the drinks? Has anyone watched it this week?
I didn't watch today's because it was preempted.
I didn't see today's yet. So you want to catch us up? What will we be seeing today?
Okay. And Belinda doesn't watch?
I haven't watched in a million years, but as soon as Ron Carlovati's material starts, I'm going to start.
Oh, okay. Victor has handed over the reins to Sonny. Anyone's opinion on that?
Okay, that makes me nervous.
Fairly good move.
Well, I like. See, okay, I'm taking it in the sense of a writer's room. He's handing stuff over to Sonny. Does that mean Victor's going to once again go on the back burner for years upon years and be seen once a month? I mean, so from a writer's room perspective, I don't like it, but from a show perspective, I do like it.
Well, the interesting thing as Victor left the room, Sonny took the amulet out of his pocket.
Oh, so, that damn amulet. We're in amulet hell on Days of Our Lives.
Yeah. He picked it up out of the ground after Chad buried it and took it home.
Chad had just given the information that it's buried on the island and everything's fine.
Yeah.
And I read today that Deimos gets murdered next week.
Do we know anything? Who's going to be the killer?
No, we don't know that far. Which, knowing Days now. Okay, first of all, I love Days, but they shoot so far ahead that murderer's probably already been revealed to the cast. So I hope they sign them to secrecy and because frankly, I don't want the murderer to be revealed a month later and we still have a 6-month murder plot to play out. I want to take this right. It's we know that he's going to get murdered, but don't tell us how. Don't tell us who it's going to be. And I think Ron, at GH, when under his tenure, things were kept under wraps. You never knew anything, really. And so I hope he brings that same mentality to Days of Our Lives. And I hope we don't know who that murderer is until the episode plays where it shows us.
Yeah, I hope they don't reveal it to us. But does anyone hinder a guess who it could be? I have my thoughts. I'm going to say who I think it is. Normally, I'm going to say Paul.
Okay, yeah. You know what? I'll go with you on that one. Sonny's too obvious, but Paul, I'll go with you because he's been talking about, and he's been going crazy on this thought for the past few months that he needs to protect Sonny at all costs. So, yeah, I'll go with you on that one, David.
Only because that
I agree.
Island Madness. We don't know. We don't know how far
it may come back.
Has the system.
Mhm.
We don't know if he's going to be completely cured of it. It might show up in little spurts. We don't know how it goes. I wasn't watching it too closely back then when Peter Blake had it. So I don't have anything to go by.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, and if I remember from my research, Jack and Jennifer found the cure for Peter, didn't they? I think.
You're asking the wrong person. I can't remember. I wasn't watching it too closely back then. So I'm going to have to defer.
Involved.
I'm going to have to defer to CAROLYN.
No, you got me as well.
Oh my God, CAROLYN, not you.
Belinda question mark.
Belinda might have been watching back then.
I don't think there's a cure. I think it comes and goes. It's kind of like malaria. It's jungle fever. It's malaria.
Malaria.
Yeah.
I don't think malaria comes and goes unless it's treated. But it's a soap opera, so who knows?
Yeah.
And just as an aside, I'm not watching yet, but I will say I love Ron Carlivati from General Hospital so much, and just because Deimos is dying, Ron brings people back from the dead from like cold, dead, donated organs, corpses. So, you know, you never know.
You never know.
You know,
and he just might
back.
Go ahead.
They're bringing back a doctor Dr. Wolf. They're bringing him back, and he helps. You know, Stefano bring people back from the dead and implant tracking devices in their brain, and he planted a tracking device in Vivian's teeth. You know, so maybe we are going to have Deimos back one day.
We could.
Well, I just glanced because you were talking and I was interested, and I Googled, and it said that he's on. He's got, even though he's dying soon, he's got next week, I think, scenes all through the rest of the summer. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I'm assuming not, you know, in his grave or anything. You know, maybe murder flashbacks, but exciting.
Oh, God. Okay, hold on. Casey dropped. All right. Call back, Casey.
Well, while we're talking about the villains, Deimos and Gabby, I'm really surprised on social media. I don't know if are you following it, David? Gabby's had death threats because of her part. No. Oh, yeah. You didn't see that this week?
No. You're talking about her bullying threats?
Yes, bullying.
Yeah, I did mention. I did see that.
Yeah. And with Deimos, I mean, I'm really surprised because I really like Vincent Nazari, and when I was asked a question about him leaving, everybody said, "Yeah, that's great. He's leaving." I was surprised. I thought he was really well liked. I mean, he's playing an excellent part, but you know, some people need to realize this is a soap opera, and if he's doing that good a job, he's a good actor.
That's what I always say. The more you hate them, the better the actor is.
Yes. But Gabby's getting a really bad rap as well.
Yeah.
Not appreciating these excellent actors. Well, maybe they'll bring EJ back from the dead. That would be good.
Well, he brought Will back, right?
He's coming back.
Yeah, and because my understanding is that he was murdered good by a serial killer, and he's coming back. So that's Ron, though. That is classic Ron. So that's why I'm actually excited, and I'm going to start watching. He's all over the place, and he's great. He's one of my favorites. A lot of people at General Hospital really hated him. The fans got really frustrated, but I did like that you didn't know what he was going to do. He wasn't recycling constantly. So.
Right. But
hey guys, sorry, my phone died. I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay.
But I'm back on now. Looks like I didn't miss much, so that's good.
But Carolyn's about to tell us why she's really happy these days about Days of Our Lives.
Why?
Remember? Yes. Someone is coming back.
Refresh my memory.
Doing double duty.
That's Eileen, right?
That's Eileen David.
My fave. Oh, okay. Soon, or I thought it was just a rumor. She is coming back?
She's definitely coming back. She confirmed and did an interview.
Oh, okay. No, I loved her.
But they're not saying, because a lot of people are saying they hope she's Susan. You know, so there's been a lot of question of will she play one of her two old roles or a new one.
Yeah.
Well, I follow her on the Housewives, and there was an interview, and she said, "Well, I'm not going to say yes, and I'm not going to say no, and you know, I if they asked me, I would come back." So.
She is, and that was all Ron. I believe that was Ron that got her on board.
Oh, good.
You know, things just seem to be getting in the right order at Days. You know, Ron released a sneak peek at his first scene.
Yep. You want to reveal that for us, please?
So Ron Palabardi will start July 19th, which is a Wednesday. He released his first scene on his Twitter, and it's between John and Kate in the Horton Town Square. And already, I mean, just by reading the description of the beat outline, already it's good. I mean, it's just, Days is going to be getting so good, and I can't wait to see what Ron has in store for us.
And I believe that they taped that day. Okay, are you ready, Carolyn?
Yeah.
This is going to be a big one. When they taped this show, February the 3rd is when they taped the first show.
Yeah, he listed the tape date and the air date. That was so funny.
They do that. They did that on YNR when Sally started too.
Well, they've done well to keep it under wraps, so that's good. That's good. That's promising.
Well, now we know how far in advance. Now we know how far in advance they are.
Yep.
Which it seems
if they taped that first show, go ahead.
It seemed like they slowed down by 2 months, actually, which I'm really happy about that. So they've cut 2 months off. So it seems like they are trying to tape closer to air. However, could it once again get them in trouble? Because, you know, Days of Our Lives went to that crazy taping schedule to save money. And you know, is NBC going to invest more money in them? Fingers crossed. But I don't know.
They
we'll just have to wait
13 weeks on overhead by doing this.
Yeah,
by doing their schedule the way that.
Either NBC is going to pour more money into them, or it will be a bad move, and I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. But they will be delayed because we have a delay coming up this winter because the Winter Olympics is set to go off. So they'll.
Good point.
Yeah. So Winter Olympics, am I right? Yes.
Winter,
Yeah. So that's 2 weeks there. And Winter Olympics is what? Usually February-ish. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So, there's 2 weeks. There's 2 weeks there that we're going to lose, maybe a little more. So, it's fun. And I think, I think NBC is sort of rooting for Ron. You just heard it at the Emmy red carpet with Ken Corday. He's just everyone's saying that Ron's a lot of fun. He's putting humor back in. And he's not going to let it go quite so dark.
Well, when I interviewed Susan Seaforth Hayes a couple months ago, she said he is the best thing to happen to the show in quite a while. She was talking about when she first met Ron, when the news came out that he was taking over. And she said right away, he knew who she was. He knew things about her character, Julie, that she had forgotten. So what makes this so great is, one, that, but two, Ron also he grew up on soaps. That's what makes Ron such a special head writer.
Absolutely. It goes along with the adage, it takes one to know one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he probably his writing. It sounds like he's a fan as well as a writer, which
yes,
he'll take their parts and make them better and make them a better actor. That's what it
and
sounds
Sherry's
like
already
he's
there, already in the credits, and she's been. Well, she hasn't taken her new position yet. Her new position hasn't shown, but she's in the mix in another place.
You know, story hasn't improved in my eyes, but dialogue has improved. The dialogue
has improved.
Yeah, the dialogue seems way more smart and rolls off the tongue more of the actors. And so the dialogue is wonderful. Now let's just get our stories there too.
Yeah, coordinate the two. Get them. Hopefully, he can do that. It's very disjointed. There doesn't seem to be a flow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, who do we have? We have Sammy and Will returning.
Yeah. Thank you, Jesus.
Dr. Ralph returning. Let me see what else they want to bring back. They got Eileen Davidson. So we don't know who.
Don't know if she's coming back as Kristen. We don't know yet.
Which I don't think it's going to be Kristen. I think, King Corday, he said he wants to stop bringing people back from the dead, which of course now he's coming up with creative ways to get around that. But I don't think it's going to be Kristen. Because I think if it was going to be Kristen, they definitely would have revealed it to us. Because that wouldn't be the soap shock of the decade, like, I feel like if it was Kristen, they would have.
Well, she did fly out the window, and they never found her body, so.
Right.
Which, on a soap,
remember.
Sometimes on a soap, I can give a little leeway, but come on, she felt like 20 stories.
She could have. She's been hanging from a tree this whole time.
Or they could have, like, Dr. Rolf find her.
Caught her.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, it's going to be good. I think Blunt is looking forward to Days again.
Yeah, Casey could write a good script for that.
Not even
do that one.
Yeah. Where has Kristen been? Where is she?
Dead.
Oh.
So they all know that the police know that Deimos is the Candyman.
Yes, that came out.
Yep, yesterday, and he knows that the police knows. I don't know who tipped him up. Do you think it was Rory that tipped him off?
Oh, that could be, and that storyline starting up again. He's a good little actor as well. I'm glad to see him back.
It's nice to see the young.
I like the actor, but I don't think the character was needed. I mean, we're supposed to believe that this whole time, he's still been selling drugs and he's a hotshot drug dealer by now. And I don't know. There's a lot of stories on Days that are now coming out of nowhere. Literally, none of these stories make sense right now, and it's all really annoying me.
Well, they try to bring in some of the things that are going on in real life, and there's all the drugs and the drama, and why can't they catch them, and who's doing it, and who's behind it all. They could have a better storyline. I agree. They've got the right idea, but they're not doing it right.
Well, we got to give it time. I mean, it's petering itself out slowly.
Yeah.
And if you want to know who's good with the ratings, you ask Belinda because, my God, you are a clip. Can you tell us anything about how Days is doing?
Yeah, I haven't looked at Days. They, do you know what? When we were talking last night about Bold and that we were hoping for a ratings bump from Sheila, I'm going to pull up the ratings right now. But I was looking to see when we're going to find out because she showed up right as a ratings period was ending on a Friday, and so we didn't know she was going to be there, so it was like bam, and so you didn't know to tune in for it, so she wouldn't be reflected. But tomorrow the ratings are going to be out I'm like waiting with bated breath to see how the ratings do for the actual week everybody knew, and they knew to tune in for her. But let's see. Days was up a little bit last week.
I'm looking at the ratings, too, and they were up just a tad.
They were up a smidge, and in some cases, in a couple of categories, looks like close to the same or the same as this time last year, and that's the demographic that's killing most of the other soaps is comparing them to this time last year. You know, Y&R is down over 500,000.
Oh.
And B&B a quarter. GH actually had, out of nowhere, a bump.
Yeah.
And I love GH, but I was like, where did that come from? Where did those extra 25,000 people come from compared to last year? Because typically they're down 500,000 too. So I think DVR is accidentally recorded or something. I don't know.
You know, it's just we can see now because as you look at these ratings from June 5th to the 9th, it says for Days, 46,000 up for this week, same last year. So I think we can now track what happened and where ratings start to went down. Because, you know, we can pull up what happened around this year last time, and I think we can definitely start to track where Days went wrong.
And also, just the very fact that it's the same as last year is actually good, or that it's like even in the 18 to 34, they're only down 13,000 compared to last year. That's great news actually for year over year.
They're holding their own. Sounds like they're holding their own, so that's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, Ron Carlivati may bump Days over GH. You know.
Oh.
I sure would like to have him back.
I'm trying to think of the last time that
would
happened.
Be,
I think it was 2014, wasn't it, the last time that happened?
Mm-hmm. Days went over?
Well, there has
been
a couple. I mean, in a couple of times I know where when you dice it down by certain demographics, they'll flip-flop. But, yeah, it's been a while since they were legit over them. And you know, you have to know that Ron would be doing a happy dance if he flip-flopped that and dropped GH down.
We all would.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so thrilled that Jean Passanante is, quote, retiring. I have a feeling about how that conversation went, but I just wish she was taking Shelley with her because me and a million other people are tired of Jelly, and I would take Ron back, I would take Bob Guza back, I would take an intern, over that writing team.
I think Shelley will go I give it literally like 3 weeks time before Shelley goes, because Jean and Shelley, they're BFFs in the head writer's room, and as the world turns, you know what, you can even track it back to Another World. When Jean left, Shelley left. As the world turns, Jean left, Shelley left. Young and Restless, Jean was fired, Shelley was fired. So I think we're definitely going to see the same thing happen at GH.
Well, I agree, and they've already, I think it was podcast or an interview with Varney that I was listening to, and he was talking about getting new blood in and a new writer, and he was talking about not recycling someone who's been through all the soaps, which I was like, yay, how about that? What a great idea. And there's no way. I mean, I think she might get demoted to, I don't know, kind of like Dr. Obrecht got demoted to the file room. They may do that to Shelley and tell her to go, scan old scripts and put them on microfiche until she leaves or hits retirement age, because, yeah, she is definitely part of the problem. But to give Shelley credit, she does not get online and fight with fans and try to defend obvious plot flaws and telling fans they don't know history when she doesn't know history.
Oh, I know. But Ron did that too, and I don't know if that was more of his downfall.
Well, I have to defend Ron on this. There's a difference between not knowing character history and choosing to tangle with it. Like when he resurrected Jake, that was, everybody's like, what?
Mm-hmm.
But he knew what he knew what he was doing, and he explained it in a way that was, kind of ridiculous, but at the same time plausible. But with Jean, like when they decided, we're going to put Jason on Cassadine Island, and then everybody was like, he wasn't there, and she's like, how do you know? And then they sent video clips showing how they knew. But Ron was more clever about it. It's like, if you can give me a good explanation, I'll go along with you, because it is a soap.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I have a survey, a poll that I saved to talk to y'all about. It's Sam has something going on GH, and it was a little poll, and they were asking, what is wrong with Sam? Helena's curse, a physical condition, poisoned, or mental illness. And the overwhelming response is mental illness.
Yes.
and they have down PPD, etc. And it's interesting. I think it's a little, for what's going on, somebody was messaging me and saying postpartum psychosis, and I'm like, yeah, but that's like within 2 weeks of birth, and apparently there's 6 kinds of postpartum depression, one of which can make you go killing people. I thought that was very interesting. I personally voted a physical condition, like I think something is medically wrong with her. But most of the people, seem to think it's some kind of mental thing. What do you guys think?
Well, I don't know. Sam had her moment with Olivia, and her baby almost died when she fell over the bridge. But to me, she's gotten over that now, and I just, if one thing happened to Sam after another, then I'd be on board with the story. But there's not enough story for her that's happened that's really, F Sam up in the brain to make her go this crazy to me. That's why I can't get invested in this story. There's when Nikki became an alcoholic, she fell off a horse, hurt her back. Victor said, I'm done with you for, what was the final time, which we all know that's not true. And, Jack was kind of getting tired of her too. So, there's got to be a lot of stuff to happen to you for me to buy a story. And this one, it's like she got over the Olivia stuff. We're done.
I agree, and that's why I think if there's something medical wrong with her, it's a hospital show, and they've been talking about doing more hospital stuff, and I'm fine with them. I wrote an article suggesting that it's a tumor, but at the same time mocking the plot and suggesting it was Jean Passanante's parting gift to fans to mess with them, because Jean is a hardcore Frizz shipper and Franco apologist. She is, and I love Roger Howarth. I like the character of Franco, but there's that lingering cloud of, even with the tumor, he traumatized Sam and Jason. And so if they gave her a tumor, and I'm not committing to it, I'm not saying it is, my article was from the premise of if they do this, I think that it's Jean with her middle finger up to fans and why she would do it. if Sam goes off the rails because of a tumor, because she has maintained again and again that a tumor doesn't explain what Franco did. And I don't think she's going to go rape anybody, or pretend rape anyone. Who knows? I mean, I would pay an extra $1 if she actually did rape Franco while under some kind of tumor haze. That would be just great.
Under the tumor
if she sodomized him somehow, but
head writer revenge stages on Daytime. Like when Charles Pratt got ready to leave Wyandotte, he was like, okay, I'm going to destroy this show. I'm going to change the Chancellor Mansion, and I'm going to put characters that shouldn't be in scenes with others. And, at days, Dina's in her revenge stages right now. She's like, okay, Ken Corday tried to pull one over on me. Let's bring back Jungle Madness.
Ron did that at GH. He killed Silas and resurrected Jake on his way out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't really blame them, because I've heard some stories of people being fired in nasty ways, especially Ron Calavardi. I heard that man was not done away with on the best intentions. And same with Dina. So, I don't blame them, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I don't want to watch crap for 6 months before you leave.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the thing. I do think Ron set up a tough situation for the people that came after him, but I think they have failed spectacularly. And it's like if you come in and do a good job, like Ron I think was doing a good job at GH, and then, he got crapped on. But Jelly has never done a good job, so I think that's why I still maintain it's her. I called it a parting gift in quotes in my column, but I still maintain middle finger. But then some people with some inside set knowledge said, definitely not a tumor. So I'm cheerleading a tumor, or at least something plausible. Sam's been through so much, and she's a little badass in her own right, and I don't think she should have PTSD, and it's too late for postpartum. So, and if it is Helena's curse, if they try to make curses real, I mean, I know they've done vampires, but it can't be a curse. That's ridiculous. So,
right.
But 13% of people said it is.
So what do you think Ron could bring to Days?
What do I think? Are you asking me
knowing
or
that
them?
I'm asking you.
Ron he's a creative thinker. He's not a plot recycler. He's not scared to go there. If he thinks it's a good story, he's edgy. And, you spoke about Days being dark and you hope for different, but, Ron does dark, but he doesn't do dark for dark's sake. Like, he'll go there and do something outrageous, but then he's got other storylines going on to balance it out.
Right.
And humor and edge.
Humor and edge.
Humor and edge. I am so jealous that he's over there, and that's why I've tried to watch Days a few times, and I know part of it is I don't know the characters. I haven't watched it since 2 decades. I watched it for a year when I lived overseas, and it was the only English language soap on, and so I watched it for a year. And it's been a long time since I've watched, but Ron Carlivati is bringing me to the show, and I feel confident I'm not the only one. And the ratings alone is what he's going to bring.
Carolyn, does that give you hope?
Yes. Sounds good to me. I can't wait. Looking forward to it.
And I heard that. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. Finish that thought and then circle back around to me.
All right. I did read that I might have brought this up in a past show, but he is returning the heart of the show and making the heart of the show is going to be through John and Marlena and Steve and Kayla. That was in Ron's. That's in one of Ron's wishes. Yeah. Who dropped? Oh no.
So, yeah, so Linda, I totally agree with what you said. I feel you hit it right on the mark of what Ron's going to bring today.
I think he's going to bring viewers over because a lot of people were, they were upset to see him leave, and they're really had it with the writing regime at GH. I mean, I hope, because I'm a long-term GHer, that them going to days doesn't mean they'll leave GH. I'm hoping they add it to their, their TV repertoire. But I'm excited.
Hello. I don't know what happened.
You dropped.
I don't know.
But I'm glad I got you back.
Okay.
So
I'm back.
Okay. So you want to reiterate that, Belinda, for Carolyn?
Oh, what I was saying was that I hope, because I'm long-term GH and I'm a big GH person, that I think fans that miss Ron Carlivati will come to days. I hope they don't leave General Hospital. I hope they add to their scheduling
repertoire.
And DVR it and just add an extra hour of TV a day to their lives. 35 minutes without the commercials if you fast forward like I do. I hope Ron going over there is a win, and he's got me, and I think he's going to bring some others.
I hope so. They have to bring Philip back in one way, shape, or form.
I think with John and Marlena, and I mean, it's just been recycled and recycled. We need some new, fresh, young ones to, bring new viewers in. That's my feeling there.
Yeah.
But,
I did
something new.
I did a poll. My Soap site did a poll on who should be the new Days leading lady, and we did that because Ari Zucker is on her way out, and all that.
Nadia
Bjorken's
on her way out.
The options were Jennifer, Hope, Maggie, and Kate, and Jennifer got the most votes. However, I always ask a question after I write an article, and I said, okay, who do you, people who didn't see the Twitter poll, who do you want to be the new leading lady? And they said they just want Marlena to be the leading lady again.
Really?
So really, fans were like either Jennifer or Marlena.
I think they could do more with Jennifer. But it's
definitely, and
they haven't handed Patron over, and I think that.
I'm a huge Missy Reed fan, so.
Yeah.
She's sweet, and I think what they have with her and Eric is good, and I think I do remember Ron and Greg Vaughn on Twitter, and Ron sent a tweet to him saying, looking forward to getting to know Eric. So I think
that's another reason for me to tune in, because Greg Vaughn, he is top-notch eye candy. So I definitely give credit for that.
And he's an excellent actor. They just don't the parts that they give him, and they do the lines and whatever, but they could do a lot more.
Well, I'm hoping that when Nicole leaves, she takes Daniel's ghost with her, because Eric, ever since he came back, we've been stuck in the Daniel era, and my Lord, I despise the character of Daniel with a passion of 1,000
Yeah, he's gone. Daniel's gone, so, let's see more of Eric and give him a better story.
Definitely.
I think Ron wants to do that.
Well, sounds good. Sounds promising.
So, on a minor point there, I think we learned that Theo has a lot to learn about love and relationships.
About women.
That's a good way
Claire
of putting
Claire
it.
gave him Yeah, Claire gave him the letter. He was all ready, I think, to forgive her. Yeah, forgive her over the sex tape, and then she dropped the other bomb that she had.
Let's talk about that sex tape for a moment, because I've heard people say that they liked that Abe and Hope were the ones to find it because it was so shocking and it was a great shock value.
Yeah.
I thought it was the most disgusting thing from here to Canada. And Hope kept watching it unfold, and Abe finally had to close the laptop. I thought it was just so disgusting. Like, Abe turned away right away, and Hope was like, ooh, get the popcorn. She put her glasses on. She hunched forward in her chair. I was like, oh, disgusting. And I can't get, thank God they didn't show like a full-on Days of Our Lives love scene. They cut it, as soon as the two laid on the bed. But what the hell were the writers thinking?
Well, maybe Hope was shocked. She was just so shocked.
Now, I had something. I'm not completely sure, but I think they really made that. I think that tape is real, if you know what I'm saying. I think it was used for something else, but they just used that as part of the storyline.
Yeah.
Like it was extra footage, or?
Yeah.
No, like they did it like off on their own time or something. Not to be part of it. Then they just probably used that as like a device for the show. But for some reason,
maybe that's why the ratings went up, because they don't have really good they don't have good storylines. All the bedroom scenes on Days. I mean, they're really short on that. And I don't watch many of the other ones, but whenever I turn it on, there's always somebody in bed.
Well, and see, that is great. Over on GH, nobody is getting any. It's so bad. They have the two hottest actors gratuitously jogging shirtless. They've got Ryan Pavey and they've got Matt Cohen just occasionally, coming out of the shower or jogging on the pier.
I think that's why the ratings. Yeah, that's why the ratings are going down.
Well, then, I hope that Days of Our Lives. It's because, in my opinion, nobody did, because, Days has been crap lately, if we're being honest, but nobody did romance like Days of Our Lives. And I hope that brings back that true romance, those true love scenes. Wally Kerr said when Justin and Adrian first made love, it took 3 episodes. They ate strawberries. They talked about their, and I'm not saying 3 episodes, but just something. They ate strawberries. They sat by a roaring fire. They talked about why they love each other. So bring back the romance for the adults, and then those teens have them be hunching every person and thing with their hands on. You get the sexy, hot love scenes with the teens, and you get the romance with the John and Marlenas.
Well, the fans were loving Abby, the new Abby and Chad. I mean, they had a couple of hot scenes, which they, after about 10 seconds, they left. I mean, they were just kind of getting into it. And those probably, what other scenes? I mean, this with Gabby and Chad.
Because here's the thing. It is not hot to be watching two 20-somethings who are very attractive, and 20-somethings, I'm talking about Gabby and Chad. It was not hot to watch Chad wash her hair because he doesn't get soap in Thomas's eyes. No. My God. And I was ready for Hot Island sex, and the next thing you know, we cut to the end of the episode. I'm like,
Poor Casey, do you need an iced tea?
Like I said, I'm not one to pearl clutch when it comes to my soap operas. And Linda Quinnis Wood said it best in Soap Opera Digest. She said, I'm not saying do nudity. I'm saying let's just make these scenes a little hotter.
Yes. Yes.
And to be fair,
lady,
she hasn't been naked in a while, and I think her love scenes with the brother were better, but her sex scenes are always very good.
Whose?
Jackie.
Jackie Wood from Bold and the Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh,
her
okay.
her scenes. It doesn't matter if which Spencer brother or their dad. Whichever Spencer she's doing it right. So.
Yeah.
And I also hope that we get back to the gay characters on Days of Our Lives being able to act like normal couples. I remember when Sonny and Will had sex in the shower. That's normal stuff. And so these gay characters, and especially when they all laid down on the island together and Sonny and Paul laid down together, they looked like they were on an I Love Lucy episode sleeping in separate beds while the rest of the people on the island were cuddling.
Each of them in their single beds across the room.
Yes.
So it's like, let's get people going. My God. I want
but
the
Ron
the
will bring
that
that.
they have. Yeah, I hope so, because Hope and Rafe have no chemistry whatsoever. JJ and what's her name?
Ron's first mission has got to be to break Rafe and Hope up. I mean,
yes.
Oh.
I think he's going to shake all that up. The gay characters at General Hospital haven't been in the same room together since he left. I mean, they have, but not really. And there's been no hot gay sex, and there used to be, Ryan Carnes with his shirt off, and they were, and nothing. So he'll bring that heat.
Okay, so that's our Days of Our Lives.
You were going to circle back to me. I had another
go ahead.
I had another little poll I pulled up, and this loops it back around at the start of the show to Sheila. Matt Hanvey, who's, universally hilarious.
Love him.
I adore him, and this wasn't a meme. This was a poll. And he asked earlier today, who truly loved Dr. Scott Granger, so senior, not junior, who truly loved Dr. Scott Granger more, and it was between Lauren and Sheila, and it was far and away Sheila, 63% of people. And I loved that,
Sheila loved him more? Well, Lauren was a little conniving.
It's obsessive, crazy love.
Oh, that type, yeah.
Well, I mean, it didn't say that, but that's the only kind of love she has to give, I think. And Eric and Quinn are about to get a taste of that, but but I thought that was really, I thought that was nice that he did that, and that so many fans acknowledged, she did love him, probably would have loved him to death.
Speaking
in
of
her own way.
Scott Sr., what is Peter Barton up to these days? Because I feel like he should drop in as like a ghost cameo. Last time I heard anything from Peter Barton, it was when he was on Sunset Beach. But I feel like he should drop in as a ghost maybe and visit Lauren or Scotty or...
That would be good if he's still in the acting.
They haven't had a ghost in a while. Yeah, he's not. I pulled up his IMDb. He hasn't done anything since he left.
Yeah, his last thing was a movie role that he played the character Terry Goldstein in a movie called Repetition in 2005.
Yeah, and that was about the same time he left, and so he's been enjoying
out
retirement or doing theater like so many like to do. Who knows, but.
Okay, we ended Days. Carolyn, it's up to you if you want to stay.
I'd love to stay, but you're you're tantalizing me. I might start watching Bold and Beautiful.
You totally should.
It's the best thing on my DVR these days, honestly.
Oh, I feel you there. Totally agree.
Okay. And then I'll be able to give you more input, but it's just on Days these days, and I think it's going to get more exciting with Days.
It just might.
Okay, well, Belinda, nice meeting you. That was fun.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, and so we're going to switch to another day, right, David?
Yes.
You'll keep me posted.
Tuesday, July 11th. That's only for that week.
Okay.
And then we'll be back the Thursday though.
Sounds good. And everyone have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, thank you, Carolyn.
Let's keep the soaps alive.
Yep,
Bye,
and let's follow each other.
Okay, alrighty. Night.
Bye.
Good night, Carolyn. Thank you. Okay. Belinda?
Yes.
Your best. Ava and Griffin? A possibility?
Oh. Yeah, I'm cheer. I said this yesterday. I'm cheering Grava hard. Matt Cohen's finally going to get a love interest, which means we finally get to see him naked, other than taking a shower or jogging, and I'm real excited about that. Like, inappropriately excited about it. Of course, Ava's a crispy critter right now, so I can't. He would slough all her skin off if they tried to get busy in the ICU. So, there was also talk that Serena Baldwin is coming back, and that she might be a possible love interest. But I said yesterday, and I still maintain that bringing Serena back is needless and gratuitous and pointless and dumb when there's a cast of thousands in Port Charles already, and it's overpopulated, and they need to do more like with Jax and just start deporting them wholesale, sending them away. So I like Inga Rademacher, but it was like, bye, bon voyage. So if Serena doesn't show up, that's great, and I think Ava and Griffin would be great, because she's the worst, he's the best, other than, him falling in bed with the crafty Canadian. But and I think he could make her better. She needs redeemed. Can I talk about a Sunny spoiler? Because I know we're doing review, but
you can give something away.
Okay. In the soap magazines that come out tomorrow, and some of them, they get things leak early, but rumor has it Sunny is really going to get out of the mob this time. And the Jeromes are out of the mob. And, Julian's got to stay out if he wants to get more of that good lawyer loving. And Ava's a crispy critter, and I think she might get with Griffin, so she can't go back to the mob. And Sunny wants to get out because of the stuff that's happening right now, and I don't believe he really will, But it would be so interesting and strange for Port Charles not to have a mob factor. So, I don't know.
It didn't.
We don't know. And you saw what happened at the end today, that Garvey has followed Sunny to San Juan.
Right, and tomorrow he's going to put the gun in her face, and that's the incident that finally gets Sunny to go, you know what, I need to rethink some of my life choices, finally. And he's supposed to want to get out, and then he finds out that it's not the easiest thing. You don't just take your 401k and go when you're a mobster, because there's other moving parts. But they could bring someone new. Garvey's an invented person. There is no past there, because I went through all the mob families to see, and he and Jason have killed almost everyone. So it's like there's Father Mateo Ruiz, I think, is still breathing, and we all still think, that really could be, the other guys pretending to be a priest. But most of the other ones are dead. The Woos, I've been hoping for the Woos to come and bring the Asian mob.
Because that's Brad's family, right?
That's Brad's family. And that's been teased for a while, and then we saw Mrs. Wu at a meeting of the 5 families, and then we never saw her again. And there was supposed to be a Wu plot coming, and then that went. And I would totally be down for Sunny to try to get out, and then the Woos or somebody else to come in, and but at the same time, I'm really, really tired of Sonny being in every single plot. So, that's just me. A lot of people absolutely adore him and want to see him in every plot. I don't.
Well, first of all, with, my thoughts on this, on what you two have discussed, I've been dissecting it in my head. And first with Ava, Mara West is my favorite actress in soaps of all time. And she's my favorite actress, period. And I believe, they need to do this thing where they're like, okay, let's ship Ava to Russia for 2 months. And let's say there's some miracle cure for burnt skin there, because General Hospital cannot afford to lose Mara West. That's just
no.
That's just the way things are, and so they need to take care of that. And another thing is with Sonny, when is this man gonna pay? People talk about Ava paying. I think Ava is a saint compared to Sonny.
He's the worst. He's the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Two issues there, and I agree with you, is A, Sonny needs to pay, and B, just in terms of plot and stuff, Mara West is, for me, and people are going to get mad, but I think she's 100 times the actor that Maurice Benard is. And
I would agree with you there.
I mean, and it was funny because my husband walks through the room while I'm watching General Hospital, and anytime Sonny's on there, he's like, oh, look, he forgot his lines again. Because you can tell when he does.
Oh, my goodness.
And it was funny because Maurice had tweeted something the other day about there's more to be done in life than memorizing dialogue. And my thought was, unless it's your job, unless it's your job, and then literally that's what you need to be doing. Because Mara's laying in bed, she's a crispy critter, half of her body's off, she's under a yellow Home Depot tarp, and she is still acting the crap out of everything and killing it. So, they need to, you're right, miracle cure. Cassadine, there's something on Cassadine Island, some tube they can put her in for 5 minutes, and bam, she's good. And then she could have sex with Griffin. So...
Yeah. Maybe there's too bad she didn't get some of that powder from the Chimera.
That if I never hear the word Chimera for the rest of my life, I'm good.
Yeah.
That was the worst plot. I wanted Jake to run down to the writer's room and open it and kill all of them.
That's the best thing I've heard in forever.
I know.
I knew when they showed that the tube with the LEDs hot glued to it that it was going to suck, and it did.
But I will say that Friday that the nurse's ball ended, and the Chimera was going to be open, and Ava threw the lantern that bursted into flames. That was the best Soap Friday I had seen in years. And even though that Chimera plot sucked, General Hospital is lucky that, in my opinion, they have the best cast in daytime, because that cast was like, look, we know this plot sucks, but we still have to put on a good show.
You are 100% right. They have, Maurice aside, they have so much talent on the show that they're not utilizing effectively. Yeah. I mean, those people, Michael Easton is great, Rebecca Hurst is great, Rebecca Budig is great. There's very few that aren't great. I mean, even the kids on that show are like 99% great. The problem is in the writing room.
Yeah.
And I think, that episode had good ratings because people didn't know that the Chimera was going to suck. They were all like hoping, secretly hoping it might go off and kill some of the cast that there's too many of, But my only issue with that episode, and I love the episode, I love Mara, is why doesn't she have a flashlight app on her phone, and who has a kerosene lamp in an art warehouse? But because the app on her phone wouldn't have burned her up, And I was like, why does she have matches and a lantern? does the outdoor store even sell that anymore?
I mean, I
but
think it's very...
It was a device.
That lantern was something Heather Weber would have used in 1977 to find her way through the parking lot in the mental hospital.
Right, or on Cassadine Island way back with, or the other island with Luke and Laura when they were, running from Mikos and the weather machine and, we have a lantern, but it's like, who doesn't have a flashlight up? Hello? And that was a lot of the comments on Twitter. They were like, the burn plot is great. Why doesn't she have a flashlight up? And then somebody was saying, well, maybe she panicked, and I'm like, and got a flammable thing instead. So,
I feel like at that point, Ava did speak for the fans when she said enough, and she just threw that lantern. I was like, yes, enough.
and all of it, and I think there's a handful of people cheering, throw it farther, burn Sonny and Carly to a crisp. So, yeah. I think she's great, and I think Sonny needs to suck it, and I don't think she's ever going to go to jail, and I don't think she deserves to, and,
You don't think she deserves to?
No,
or
I don't.
You do think?
I
for
do
Connie?
not. Well, she's not up for charges for Connie. I mean, so that's kind of a moot point because, she had sex with the unlikely serial killer and, he hid the evidence and that was another ridiculous plot. The very fact that they started a serial killer plot without picking a killer, it's like, that's going to work out great. But, yeah, I think Paul Hornsby, whatever, that tape is gone. So there's nothing. And they only had her, her confession.
Well, and here's another thing, Ava, she truly did just want to protect Kiki. Without Ava switching the pills, Morgan was already a loose cannon. And
he had a shotgun with Kiki at a cabin in the woods.
And
He's a problem.
I loved when Carly said, no, maybe it was Sonny, but anyways, one of them said, Morgan is just a child, and Ava screamed at the top of her lungs. So what, Kiki was the adult in the relationship, Like, Morgan was not the saint. And yes, it is terrible that Carly and Sonny lost their child. However, they did not lose him to an overdose on sugar pills. They lost him because of Julian, not because of Ava.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, live with the bomb, but Julian for ticking his sister off to the point that she wanted to blow him up, Yeah, I mean, and I know that was all because, Brian was leaving, and so they contrived it. But I think in contriving it, they screwed things up and screwed Ava over with her plot line to do that, and And I want Liv back. I want Tanya Walker back. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If the other two Jeromes are going to go straight, we need her out of the nut house because she's tied to Valentine. They dropped that little nugget, and then Hillary B. Smith went away back to Pine Valley or whatever, and it was like, what is that? Why? And they better pick it back up. That's all I have to say.
Belinda or David, do you guys know if James Patrick Stewart is coming back, or is he done?
No, he's not done. He's already back on set shooting.
Oh, great. See, and I didn't catch that.
Not next week, but the week after, Nina gets a phone call from him. She's already having second thoughts, like, oh, I abandoned him, blah, 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 whatever. And Spencer wants his legacy back. That's all going on next week. The week after, she gets a phone call. James is back on set, and he was filming brand new scenes with Nancy Lee Grahn. So there's going to be some, half Cassadine sibling drama going on. There is some kind of scheme for Spencer to try to get the money back, and it would be nice if Valentine wasn't, bottomlessly wealthy, which makes life easy, and he had to, get a job or something. But he's back, and I love him so much. I loved him on Supernatural as Leviathan. When they said he'd been hired as Valentine, I was like, yay! So. Well,
and I even love James as Will Cortland on All My Children.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm so glad he's back. Thanks for telling me that. I'm so excited he's back. And
I actually did an article about it to tell people he's not gone.
Oh, I'll have to go read that actually. But
he went hiking. He took a couple of weeks off, and he went hiking because he does mountainous, manly things, which is nice. But he's back.
Yep, he's back.
I just hope that they make Valentine do more evil things because when Valentine was originally thought of, he was supposed to be, this was the guy who was supposed to even scare Helena. And I'm not getting that vibe, so I really hope we dig into that more because for the past, we got one big event that Valentine did that made him truly evil, and the rest has been him and Michelle Stafford crying more than Ariane Zucker does on Days of Our Lives. So, I think we need that evilness to come to the surface.
And you know what? I agree with you. We need it, and I'd like to see it. I don't think it's going to happen because we have heard. I mean, Helena was terrified when Luke came and got her that one time, and she was like, "Oh, Val," and all this. But to me, they effectively neutered him in the flashback scenes that when they were rewriting history on Cassadine Island, when we saw Hunchback Valentine selling her the Chimera, and she said, thank you, whatever, and then she said Valentine in her voice, and he was there and he was all pitiful and, and it was like, did she get scared of him later? I don't know.
Yeah.
That scene bothered me because it showed her in a dominant position over him, and so maybe there's an arc and he got his back fixed and got a scoliosis brace and then came back and tormented her, I don't know. I just love James Patrick Stewart, and I don't care what he does.
Yeah, I mean, thank God James is in this role because Valentine, at times the character has been unbearable for me, and at times I've wanted to fast forward through scenes, which I never fast forward. I mean, I should get a medal for that, but it's just, I want to see more. I want his story to move. Because before Valentine was arrested, his story was going nowhere. It was almost at a standstill, same dialogue every day, just being acted differently. So with James coming back, I want to see new stages for Valentine. I want to see new levels for the character. And let's just get things going a little bit.
Segueing on Valentine, I want to pull in a rumor. There's a rumor that a contract character is going to be killed off, and there's been talk about Rebecca Budig leaving. There's a whole different rumor that Dominic Zamprano was going to leave, and if it was Dom, and I like him, I don't want him to go, but I'm spitballing. If Dom left, it would be because Valentine and Lulu share a child.
Mm-hmm.
And, they never, of course, there was no romance or even physical contact involved. But I have to say, if Dom leaves, that I want him and Lulu to get together, even though he killed her brother. So.
And that would make drama.
Yeah, I mean, for her to be drawn to the guy that killed her brother, it would be out there and it would be interesting to me. And I'm knitting fan fiction while I'm saying this, but I do like him with Nina. I have been wanting him with Anna, but then it turns out it was Alex that was with him, and they're
Anna and get me started on that.
Yeah. Please. They and see, not only do they disrespect the history of their own show, then they went over and they plucked Alex over and just made her something she's not. And but Anna and Andre are getting together in early July, so I think he's going to be with Nina for a while. So we'll see. He and Michelle Stafford have great chemistry. I do say that. I do think they do.
But, I'm tired of Michelle Stafford being written as Phyllis. Nina is just General Hospital's version of Phyllis. I'm like, every time people are like, well, how do you explain this? Okay, Nina was paralyzed, Phyllis has been paralyzed, and they were paralyzed in almost the same way. They both woke up from comas. They both have run fashion magazines. They both were baby crazy. I mean, and people are like, oh, okay, well, sometimes that's just, normal soap plotlines. But to happen to the same actress, for her to have the same story she had on one show, it's just, stop writing, like Phyllis. Let this character be her own thing.
Yeah, I mean, if Valentine pops up with a brother and she gets with the brother, then we know they are definitely shadow stalking.
Okay. So you remember Ron brought Michelle on. Ron brought Michelle on.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Ron, and that's the other. Circling back to Ron, Ron likes to recruit from other shows that he was on, and he likes to steal people. And there's some scuttlebutt that Michael Easton might go to Days. That Ron may have tempted them. Now, somebody had written incorrectly.
Someone wrote that.
Well, there a lot of people have been saying that, and I actually did a little article about it because when I first saw the rumor, and I said rumor, but that Michael Easton isn't happy, and people have been back and forth, whether or not it's happening. But one of the people that after I wrote the article, then a bunch of people jumped on it because you know how they do. You write something and 90 other people write it. But somebody had written that Michael and Ron were really good friends, and it's like, no, Ron literally stabbed Michael's character in the back. He killed him out of the blue.
Yeah.
Killed Silas, bam. Michael was not happy, and then the fans raged, and they brought him back later. So we've got Dr. Lizard Lover. But not to say that Michael wouldn't go over there to Days, because he might. I mean, he's an actor. It's the business of show business. But
so
as
would he go back as Tanner?
That's what they're saying.
See, that's the other thing. Thursday, but not today, but a week ago, if you go and look at Michael's Facebook page, he did a Throwback Thursday photo of him from his days as Tanner. So
really?
Yeah, you need to go look at his Facebook page. He was so baby-faced and, so young and so adorable, but he threw a picture of himself from Days out there, and that definitely fueled the fire. And, and maybe he fueled it for fun, or maybe he was, dropping a little hint to fans, who knows. Because Days shoots so far ahead, I mean, realistically, he's got the leeway to make a deal to come over there and then, finish doing whatnot with his the pregnancy. And there's also talk that Rebecca might be leaving General Hospital, and if they and if both of them left, they could take their little lizard baby and leave town together. And
there's one rumor I just read that Hayden dies in childbirth.
Yeah, that I saw that, but
I don't.
Yeah.
I like to read them. I like to read them. They're fun to read.
Oh, yeah. I look at everything.
A lot of people dislike Hayden, but from day one, I have loved Hayden. And that may just be because I love Rebecca so much, but I also love Michael so much, but I hate every character Michael Easton has played on General Hospital.
Yeah, I do like Hayden. And we were talking yesterday, David, about James DePaiva.
Yeah.
And that he really needs to be Jeff Weber.
Oh, yes, he does.
Because he hasn't met his kid. He didn't even know about her, and she's pregnant, and I think there's pregnancy complications coming because they had the Blackwood thing and then they had the drugs. And if they don't do a pregnancy complication, I don't see what the point is of her being pregnant, frankly. I don't want her to fall down the stairs and miscarry a la every soap plot, but I do.
Gene is very old-fashioned when it comes to soap writing, and he is one of those head writers that still believes that pregnancy in this day and age shakes up a relationship to its core. And she said that in an interview once when she wrote for Young and Restless. She's very old-fashioned like that. So to Jean Passanante, this pregnancy is supposed to really shake up the relationship between Finn and Hayden. I'm like, this is everyday stuff. Pregnancy is not on a soap what it used to be in 1967.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's nothing tawdry about pregnancy out of the bounds of marriage or anything. They have to do something with it, and they both had a fictional illness, and they were taking a fictional drug, so you can't even like Google and see what might happen. But since that promo where Frank pointed to James, and James was at the nurse's station at the little hub there at GH, I'm like, please let him be a doctor. Please let him be Jeff. Don't let him be somebody there to slough skin off of Ava or, or
let him be somebody.
Or some random thing. Let him be Jeff because Hayden needs to meet her dad. I hope she's not leaving. I do. Because Liz needs another babysitter. That's primary. I think she's going to kill Grams, leaving the kids with her all the time. And so I do think Hayden, she didn't do too well last time she babysat, but that's because Spencer was involved, and he's a little jerk. But he can't deal with townies, So I hope she's not leaving. But I'm okay with Michael leaving.
I got a little nervous when that promo was shown of Jimmy the Private, and that's because it came to my knowledge, and I didn't even know this until like 2 weeks ago, but James has directed episodes of soap operas before, and I'm wondering if Frank did this as a stunt to boost ratings, and we're going to see in the credits, directed by James the Pilot. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could be a possibility.
Oh,
a riot, a digital riot would break out.
He was looking at a script, and, he was honest. It's just all too weird. And he's directed episodes of soap operas before, so.
That would be like punching fans in the face.
Well, and I only came up with that because GH is so desperate right now, and ratings are kind of sinking a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's been so many jokes about the shelf life of jelly, and it's, past its expiration date. I mean, clearly they got to do something, but I would hope that they would be smart enough to put him in front of the camera and not behind, and because that would be punking fans at a crucial stage when they can't afford to literally lose like one.
Yeah, right.
So,
because let me tell you, ABC, no matter who is actually clear.
I have to steer you clear. We don't have much time, so we have to hit Young and the Restless before we go.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. Graham and Dina.
Graham Bloodworth. There was a little thing I saw in the spoilers, I think, for Friday, because, Canada gets to watch it a day ahead. I don't know why Mal Young is allowing that to continue to happen. He's supposed to have a background in acting. Has anybody heard that? Yeah.
That's Robbie made that.
Yeah,
Robbie found that.
Yeah. So it's like, she's with a bad community theater guy. I don't know.
I was so intrigued by this Dina and Graham story, and now I'm not anymore, because I wanted the rumor of Graham being Ashley's brother to come true, because I think Max Shippey, who plays this Graham character, he's such a good actor.
He is. He's very good.
Yeah, I'm
you
not
think he would be
in the Graham story anymore.
Davis's son?
Well, there was. Go ahead. There was a couple of things options. Like he could be Dina's son from someone else. The most ridiculous one was he was somehow Ashley's secret twin.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sure. But then, then there was another that he was someone, some other relationship, that he was her stepson.
Eric Garrison's.
Yeah.
Eric Garrison's son.
Yeah. And if they're not going that route, and I don't think they are, I'm upset that she's not sleeping with him.
Oh, I know, right?
I actually tweeted a picture of him in a little sexy gold digger outfit because that's what the plot has turned into, I'm not happy with that. It's too late. It's already done. I don't get a vote, but
I feel like we need to get
They're
away
teasing
from.
us when they brought up his will.
Yeah.
When they brought up Dina's will, they're teasing us.
You think?
I think they need to get away from the grand mystery and finally reveal that Ashley is not an Abbott. Because the only people, and this shocks me to death, the only people that know that Ashley is not an Abbott are Victor, and these are people that are alive, Victor, Jack, and Tracy. Even John died not knowing that Ashley wasn't his. And let's reveal the truth.
Yeah,
and
Dina knows.
Yeah.
And Dina
knows. And Dina. Of course.
Yeah.
Dina knows.
Yeah, they need to pull that out,
Because I was hoping they would do it when Ashley was thinking about having that affair with Stitch, because I was like, oh, it'd be so cool if, right now when Ashley and Abby don't like each other, to reveal Ashley's not an Abbott, and Abby tries to steal her shares in Jabot. And so we need to reveal that. And it's been, almost 30 years. So
that's
let's
kept
reveal
secret.
the truth. Yeah,
well,
even Billy doesn't know.
They need to do it soon because Dina is losing her memory. Her brain has gone slippery. David and I we talked about this yesterday, that I don't like to say this out loud about older actors, but I do think they might have brought her to Genoa City to die, and that's why Gramps trying to get that will signed really fast. He knows things aren't going well, and she might forget who he is because she's got dementia or something.
That could actually be a possibility there.
Yeah, and I don't like the idea of that. It bothers me when they bring on older actors, bring them back just to kill them. But at the same time, there's been warning signs.
I really hope that she isn't dying. I really hope she isn't dying.
Yeah, they brought Neil's mom on for 2 episodes and killed her.
Yeah,
so
that's what I mean.
And they got such a good actress to do it. And it was like, oh, she's so great. She's dead.
But do you think Sally would kill off such a legacy character? Because I remember when Lynn Marie Latham decided to kill John, and Sally said in an interview that she begged Lynn not to make that decision. So do you think that Sally would want to kill Dina?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't think so.
It sounds terrible, but the groundwork, we've seen the clues. I mean, her brain, there's something wrong, and there's a reason she's back and she's trying to get closure. Now, they may send her back to Paris and leave it a question mark, but I feel like they've dropped Easter eggs about her health.
And I don't. If they do kill Dina off, I want it done in a very tasteful way. I want people at her hospital bed. I want Ashley to say, I finally forgive you. And Dina can reveal to Abby on their way out that Ashley's not an Abbott. So if we do kill her, do it tastefully.
The kids are there, Abby's there, even Victor can show up, it's fine, whatever. But yeah, they could do it tastefully. I just feel like that the way they've laid things out, there's not another way to get closure because of the health issues, unless they find out, we just needed to adjust her blood pressure medicine. She's fine. I don't know.
I don't want her. I don't want her to die. I don't want the character to die off.
Oh no, no. But I think they're going there, and I even hate to say it, Speaking of characters, you mentioned Stitch a second ago. Do you notice how they haven't, unless I missed an episode, they haven't explained where he evaporated to?
He's kind of like Dr. Barton now. I think he still works at the hospital, but they're not going to show him unless somebody needs a doctor. It's like his son went evil, got institutionalized, and then he just disappeared. You got divorced and disappeared. If Dina is going to die, then Stitch can be Dina's doctor, and he can comfort Abby, and we can have that pairing back together.
We could, but apparently she's going to be, mud wrestling Sharon over Scott, because Scott and Abby hate each other, and you know what hate leads to. On soaps only, not in real life, I don't think, but,
I really hope we don't have a Sharon, Abby, Scott love triangle, but it is looking like it's going to go.
It's common, I think.
It is, and I'm like, boo hiss, boo hiss, because I do like Scott with Sharon.
I do too. I love shop. That's what I decided to call him.
Yeah, she has enough baggage to start a luggage shop, but that's okay. He seems not to mind. He has he knows. But, this is a guy who's been held captive and was going to die, so he's like, this relationship's not as bad as that.
Right.
He's, the sex is good. It's cool.
And also, I love that Sharon and Lauren's little feud is reigniting over this. They didn't like each other when Sharon shoplifted, and
yeah,
right.
So I love that little feud is happening again.
Right, and his mom can say what she wants, but the sex is good, so he's like,
He's like, look, I was going without for too long.
Yes, you don't understand what it's like being held captive. This is so much better. Yeah, and it is funny because she's still living at the ranch, and then he's like, his boss is up the road, he's shagging her, but Victor doesn't care. It's not like he was necessarily a big Dylan advocate or anything. And hey, Victor's been there too. That's the piece of information I'm not sure that Scott knows. When Victor's like, I know what you mean. She's pretty hot in bed. And Scott's like, what?
I know.
So,
well, guys,
Victor has to want her sleeping. Okay.
I know. Time is running, and we have to say our goodbyes and to the fans and everybody. So, Belinda, what is your message to the fans?
My message, I'll coalesce this really quickly. You and I were talking about this yesterday.
Yes.
Soap ratings are so critical across the board. If you are watching a soap on an illegal link, you are hurting your programs. DVR it, watch it within 24 hours to get counted as a view. Subscribe, pay your cable bill, or get it through an app. If you get CBS All Access or ABC Go, one of those, that counts. I see the illegal links all over social media. You got to stop doing it if you want your programs to be on. Check me out on Inquisitor, Belinda Gates Turner. You can also find my stuff on muckrack.com under my journalism profile. Watch the soaps, watch them legally. That's my message.
That stands. Casey?
I agree 100% of what Belinda just told you guys to do. Soaps are so critical right now, and I will tell you, it looks like we get one step closer every day to getting All My Children, One Life to Live back, but you have to watch your soaps. And just check me out on social media at CaseyHutch99 is my Twitter. Also follow my soap site at DI Soaps. And just keep watching the soaps, you guys.
And my message goes out to one of our missing co-hosts, Miss Elizabeth Long. She has been very busy and she has lost track, but we hope to have her back soon. You can follow, she is a Days viewer only, I believe, and you can find her on Twitter at Miss MS Elizabeth Long. And I echo what both of you say. It's the God honest truth. Please watch. And if you're upset, don't. How about, like I said, tell in reverse. Instead of telling social media what you don't like, try telling them what you do.
There you go.
Yep.
And maybe that'll get you. Maybe and quite possibly they'll listen.
Yeah. That's very good. Very good.
So I'll see you guys in second week of July on Tuesday, the 11th.
Sounds good.
Same time.
Same time, same bat channel.
Same bat channel. Thank you, Belinda, for joining us. I am thrilled.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
it's
love
great.
Having Belinda.
Talking soaps is great. I can't talk to anybody in my house about it, so this is awesome.
I hear you there.
So good night, everybody, and we'll see you soon.
Good night. Happy soaping.
Happy soaping.
Good night.
Good night.
Get connected with Take Two Radio on Facebook or Twitter at Take Two Radio. For email updates on future shows, follow at Blog Talk Radio. For previous episodes, upcoming guests, and more, visit TakeTwoRadio.com.